Good morning, welcome to this week's vlog. Remember, we're here to level up your leadership, think differently and change your perspective. So today we're going to talk about acknowledging and seeing good and how that can really help you move your team, your organization and yourself forward. So let's put our best foot forward and see where we get to. Okay, so here we go. Hope you had a fab weekend, as always. I've got my rain jacket on. I'm not too sure what the weather situation is this morning, so we'll see how we get on. Right, so let's start off with, I've put this as in recognizing and acknowledging good. Okay, what do I mean by that? So many people talk about perfection, perfectionists, striving, trying to get the best, and I always speak to people, again, the language, we've spoken about language on this vlog before, about the language we tell ourselves. Like, what does good look like? Okay, because quite often, if we just aim for like consistency, realizing sort of potential and going, what do we need to be doing on a really good sort of daily basis, and what does good look like? And then the main thing is about recognizing it and acknowledging it, because we can be on this treadmill of perfection. And we're going to share with you a little story that happened this weekend that made me think about this exact subject, hence why we're talking about it this week. And it's to do going back to, and I've spoken about this quite a lot, about the link between kids, being a parent, whether it's you've got kids or not, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews. It's just really relevant for you to then think about this in a corporate setting perspective. So I've got 4 young children. As we know, as you're growing up, we're quite young. My eldest is 10, down to youngest 3.5. And it can be challenging. It can be challenging for a parent. It can be challenging for the children. And again, we're not going to go into the specifics, but we all know, like, there's no rule book. You can just do your best. And there's so many stories linked to leadership. So something happened, okay? The 4 children, and I do this quite often, but it just light bulb moment, I thought I need to talk about this. They were all playing really nicely. And they were all in the same room, interacting with each other, playing on their own, then talking, communicating. And I just walked past. And there obviously are some occasions where if me or Jen aren't in the room, it gets a little bit out of hand, okay, as all children do, which is good sometimes, okay, to challenge and get that sort of traits, behaviours, that we're all not robots. But I just walked past the lounge and I just popped my head in and said, guys, well done for playing really nicely. It's like, it's really nice that we're not having to interact and interject and tell somebody that that's not acceptable behaviour, or you know what I mean, okay? And again, it was just nice. They appreciated it. They didn't, obviously, their children, but it was like, as mummies, daddies, as leaders, do we always have to be telling, we need to do this better? We're striving, and we are negatively biased, so we're always looking for the things that aren't right to fix them. Sometimes just sit back and go, is it all working? Is it good? Okay, and then acknowledge and recognize that, whether that's internally, so your own performance, or whether that's externally to your team. That can be a real change of direction in how you lead, to get off the treadmill sometimes. And we've talked about that slow down to speed up, but this is very specific to acknowledge and just, it's not praise. I wouldn't say it was praise. I wouldn't say you're sort of rewarding, as in getting the fanfare out and celebrating. It's just a comment. Well done. Like, this is good. This is what we're aiming for. This is what we're looking at doing. And then I just want to add one more thing in, because I heard, and again, this is reactive to what I'm hearing, talking about, what we're dealing with. I heard a very good friend of mine talk last week on a video, and they said that they've come across, and this is for the short version, Okay, come across business owners before that have said they've been business for 10 years, and this is the scaled down version. Been in business 10 years, which is bucking the trend, as I said, about surviving. Obviously a thriving business if you're lasting for 10 years. However, so quite often you come across people who've been in business, but what they've actually done is they've just repeated the same year over and over again. So they haven't innovated, they haven't changed, they haven't moved with the times. And again, hence why this person was probably working with them because they're in a similar field to myself. And probably going to be doing some work together at some point. But I just liked that how they put that, because if you're not moving, if you're not innovating, if you're not, and again, this is as an individual, as a business, you can imagine the culture and the environment that's there as well. Anyway, digress a little, but I just like the fact of, put that in your leadership journey now. Are you just repeating the same year every year because you've got the same skill set, you've got the same tools? Are you pushing and learning and developing and testing yourself? Next week, I'm going to do something about, I'd say, a bit rainy today, about umbrella leadership. I'm already weeks ahead now on content, so look out for that one. So this week, special week on the podcast, we are 1 year old, okay? On the 12th of May, last year, exactly the same as this year, 12th of May is a Wednesday, we started the podcast. So I've got a very special guest, Peter Anstis, amazing friend of mine now, joined me on the podcast. He was on the list when I first started the podcast, but for external reasons wasn't able to join me. So we've got him on, the special one of the 1 year anniversary. He is on board and as an associate in business development on Star Development UK, amazing credibility. He's a visiting fellow of leadership, funnily enough, at the the Lancaster Management School, one of the top 3 management schools in the UK. And it's just fantastic to have him on board. He speaks really well, as all my guests do, and the wealth of knowledge and experience he brings, sitting on board levels of global organisations across the world, Australia, Sweden, and obviously back in the UK, and now is non-exec director, got his fingers in lots of different things, and it's a pleasure to have him as part of the Star Development team, and a pleasure to have him on the podcast. So make sure you hit subscribe on this channel. Go on there, hit subscribe. You will get a vlog every Monday at 6 a.m. and a podcast at 6 a.m. on Wednesday. So a little bit longer today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to know your comments. Make sure you comment below, comment, subscribe, comment your feedback, and I look forward to hearing and seeing it, and have a fantastic, productive week. See you very soon. Take care. Bye.